sense from the, if you look at it not from the vendor side, but from the company, from the enterprise side, how are you seeing them transform their business? And, what do you feel, companies have to do? I mean, I kind of feel for a CIO today because, they still have pretty tight budgets. They also have cybersecurity risks that they have to deal with. And then there's AI, so they have to innovate, and all these pressures are on them. What do you sense in that area? And
Well, I think with companies and AI, I think I sense a lot of confusion out there. I mean, they're not sure, they're overwhelmed. They may have gotten on board with AI somewhat, and maybe they've bragged about their success, but the reality is they're still not sure where to go. And it's all very expensive, but they know their competitors are doing it, so they have to do it. They face a lot of problems. One is that there's a scarcity of professionals who have years of experience in managing AI in-house. I mean, it's so new. I mean, look at Mark Zuckerberg. He offered, $10 million pay packages for AI experts. I mean, Meta offers like 2 million bucks a year, and then the folks go work at Anthropic a year later. So it's hard to hire people.
I saw a study recently from Gartner actually saying that there's a lot of AI pilots being launched in many of these places, but they expect about 60% of them to actually fail.
Right.
And you made a point about data early on as we started the conversation. We did a survey recently of our own customers just to get their perspectives. And the biggest thing that came out is IT is really worried about shadow AI.
Hmm.
Because, if you're unprepared and people are using AI in different ways in the organization, the risk could be pretty severe. What's your sense? I mean, is shadow AI going to be real, you think? Is it just, is it something people are scared of, or is it something they should really watch for?
I can't imagine a modern day knowledge worker keeping up with their workload without the help of generative AI. I mean, I use Gen AI apps for a lot of different things. So I'd say shadow AI is like shadow IT on steroids, helpful, but also more dangerous. First of all, some of the answers it spits out are very, very wrong. I mean, I get some really silly answers from ChatGPT. And of course, there's the big obvious answer danger is that employees will input proprietary company data into the AI model. And who knows where the data goes? So I think companies need to do two things. First of all, they need to equip the staff members with Gen AI tools. So there's a list and there's an approved budget. But what they really need is training, in person, on Zoom, just, face to face, talk about cost overruns, talk about, security problems. But I think companies really do need to train the workers about the reality of shadow AI.
Yeah, yeah, just make everybody more informed, make it easier, more systematic for people to use AI. The answer isn't to shut it down, it's to just make it easier and make people more informed, you think, of
Right, for sure. And I
yeah.
think one of the problems with that is the tools are evolving at a really quick rate. I think some of the executives and managers in charge maybe haven't used them all, so they don't know which ones should be approved. So it's such a time of flux. Now would be the time where shadow AI would sort of sneak in there. But again, I think it's a slippery slope. There's some danger there.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and maybe this last question I'll ask is maybe similar to one has before, but in a slightly different way, I'll ask it. From a CIO perspective, we talked about all these pressures on them and, they're trying to figure it out. I mean, have you heard any good stories like how are CIOs surviving this? Or, they themselves could be using AI in IT. I mean, there's that trend also coming. Have you heard anything about any of all of those things?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a particularly non-fun time to be a CIO these days. I mean, running a company's IT division in the era of AI, I think is a recipe for headaches. Part of the problem is that at some level, most everything is about data. Again, I think it comes back to data. AI is really all about data. You're not going to get anywhere with AI if you're not optimizing your data use. So it's a real problem confronting CIOs. Handling data is getting more complex, even as the importance of data just keeps growing. I mean, the data might be poor quality with missing fields or duplicates, or maybe it's fragmented. Who knows where it is? It's in your cloud, it's on-prem. But at any rate, a lot of the data will need to be fed into an AI system, but managing an AI system is definitely one of the most challenging parts. Usage costs have to be estimated, and what exactly is the ROI of using ChatGPT or Claude? But all that aside, I think that the real bottom line for the headaches facing CIOs is properly managing AI is crucial, but AI technology changes to a significant degree at least every 6 months, maybe more like every 90 days. Sometimes it feels like weekly. So how do you as a CIO make major enterprise decisions about a technology that is evolving so fast and so unpredictably? Bottom line, I've got great sympathy for today's CIOs.
Yeah, it feels like, they have to, like you said, maybe they have to kind of have the building blocks in place to be extremely agile. I mean, the level of agility that we're asking for now, it's just kind of warped to another level, orders of magnitude
Hmm.
more than what it was in the past.
Have you had any first-hand experience with CIOs, Krishna, in terms of like their challenges and headaches?
Oh yeah, it's we constantly, we talk to VPs of IT and CIOs all the time, and yes, what we're finding is they definitely they have to balance cost optimization. Cost constraints haven't gone away. They still have to manage that, and a lot of them I think are prioritizing preparing their data for AI because to your point, they don't know exactly which AI strategy is going to take off yet. But no matter what strategy you pick, you have to prepare your data for AI. So, that's probably a good starting point for a lot of them.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy right now. But it's
It's
also exciting. I think it's also an opportunity for significant transformation.
Well, and it will be, and I think it comes back to data a lot. We talked about this. Is that
Yeah,
AI gets all the headlines, but really AI is all about data. I'm not sure that
yeah.
so underneath the headlines, maybe people may not understand that as much, but like handling your data properly is really what it's all about.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Well, this was a lot of fun, James. Thank you so much. Thanks for being on the other side of the table and answering these questions. It was very insightful.
Thank you, Krishna.